Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Whimsy Creek Art. All right, for today's Short Tip Saturday, this is a super fun one. I've been experimenting a lot lately with layering your paint pours. So here I have a 16 by 20 canvas that I did, several months ago. And I did these blown flowers, and I just did not like the stems. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do another layer on top of this already dried paint pour. I'm going to do a string pull technique to create better stems and leaves to the flowers. All right, so what I use is Floetrol, and Floetrol does dry clear. So I'm going to pour a little bit of Floetrol directly on the canvas and just spread it about just on the portion I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be covering up the flowers, just kind of below the flowers, the stem or leaf portion. And I'm just using a plastic palette knife to spread the Floetrol around to where I want it to. So if you try to do a layer on a dry surface, it doesn't really glide across, or the fluid acrylic is not able to glide across it. So what I've been doing some experiments, and I've learned that Floetrol does dry perfectly clear, and you do not even see the Floetrol. So you can put a base of Floetrol over the top of your dried paint pour, and then you can do all sorts of different techniques in that Floetrol to give it kind of a layered technique, somewhat kind of like resin artists do. All right, so here I have just basic yarn. I have about 14 to 16-inch piece, and I have an empty pie pan here. I'm going to put a variety of greens in here, with only one of the darkest green has silicone. Only the one green has silicone, and I'm just kind of getting a nice layer of paint down in the bottom of this pie pan. And this is what I'm going to use to dip my string in to do a string pull. And that's the technique that I've chosen to do for my leaves and stems for this particular one. All right, so the upper portion of this canvas is dry. So I'm going to go ahead and just set this on the upper portion of the canvas. All right, now I'm just dipping my piece of yarn into the greens. And you can use a chain, a ball chain, a piece of bead, like Mardi Gras beads, yarn, string, so many different things. I'm just using regular old red heart cotton yarn. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and lay this down, just a basic string pull technique, and I will go ahead and down below I'll put in the description a link to my video on how to do a string pull technique. But basically what you're going to want to do is get your yarn or whatever you're going to use saturated with your paint, and then you lay it down in the design you would like on your canvas. And then you pull your string straight back parallel with the canvas. You don't want to be really pulling down or pulling up. You're going to want to keep it very parallel with the canvas and just pull it straight across the canvas. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do quite a few of these leaves and just kind of layer it back and forth to give kind of an abstract stems and leaves to the bottom of these flowers. And anywhere you're seeing kind of the cloudy Floetrol you can see, that actually is going to dry completely clear. You're not going to see that cloudiness that the Floetrol is giving right now. You're going to see that first paint pour, that background paint pour. You're going to see that kind of peeking up through because it dries perfectly clear. And this coming week, I'm going to have quite a few more videos coming out. That is this layering technique, layering more paint pours right up on top of other dried paint pours. Some other techniques and some lot of fun, not just the string pull. But this was a technique that I started. I actually was experimenting on one of my live streams is when I came up with this technique. So don't forget to join us on my live streams. I have regularly scheduled live streams every Tuesday and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And on Tuesdays, I kind of pick the colors and the techniques we're going to do. And then on Fridays, the chat picks the colors and sometimes the techniques we do. And I have, those are my regularly scheduled times, is Tuesday and Friday mornings. And then I also have been kind of adding a few more with everyone, with what's going on in the world. Everybody's got a little bit more time. Well, not everyone. Some of us have a little bit more time on our hands. And so I have been adding a few extra live streams in there. And so we have been doing on Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're doing either trivia or Mad Libs. This coming Thursday will be Mad Libs. So I hope you can join us for some of our fun we have in my live streams. And then I've been kind of just doing some random ones as well throughout the week. All right, and so here is a close-up of what we've been working on in this video. And you can see that there is some cell action. Only one of the greens had silicone. And here is, you can see where the Floetrol is started to dry now in these pictures, these close-up shots. The Floetrol in the back is almost all the way dried. It has a little bit more to dry here. And now this is the one that I had very first try with the layering technique during my live stream. I just want to show you how clear that Floetrol does dry. So this was done in 2 different live streams, with the backgrounds and the flower in one live stream, and then the stems and leaves in another live stream. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great weekend.